My name is Ishmael Beah. I am a writer, and I started off by writing non-fiction and then started writing novels after that. I'm originally from Sierra Leone in West Africa, and my first book was called A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier, and then my novel is called Radiance of Tomorrow. In addition to being a writer, I also do political work in the sense of as an activist for children's rights, particularly children affected by armed conflict. So I'm a UN ambassador in that capacity. So the panel that I had is titled Men Who Write About Women, and I had two other colleagues, two other writers. And I think for me what was important about the panel was just looking at language in terms of how you translate from your masculine mind into how you write about a woman. In most of my work, I've had lots of characters that are either girls, women, or grandmothers, and things like that. And so it is not easy to do that, but I think it allows you to embody another way of thinking, another way of feeling, another way of emotion, and expressing those emotions. And I've been fortunate that all my editors are women, so they give me feedback. But I also pass all my work by my wife. Anything that has to do with out of what I consider not necessarily my comfort zone, I'll try to render it as much as possible. But to be able to have it correct, I need to pass it by my wife first. And she will read it and she will tell me a woman would never think like this, or a woman would never say something like this, or a woman's reaction would not be like this. And then I'll go back to the drawing board, because even though it's fiction, I want to make sure it's correct the way I'm rendering it. I think what stood out for me is what my expectations were, which is that there's a remarkable talent on the African continent, particularly women's writers, which in all honesty, we need more voices of women in African literature out there. We have some big ones and some great ones, but we need the nuances. So I've been really touched by how remarkable intelligence and creativity that I knew already existed, but that's been exhibited here, and the way people talk about the craft, the way they talk about representing themselves, the way they talk about their resilience, their strength, and their continuing desire to create. And I think for me, this has really been an awakening for me. And this is part of the reason why I wanted to also live in Nigeria, because I felt it's a place that's quite vibrant with the arts. Because I do identify as a feminist, I have a choice. I mean, the way I always answer this question is that I'm possible because a woman gave birth to me, a woman carried me in a womb, so just by the fact of that, and it's not just, feminism is not just for women. I think, if anything, I think men probably need to embrace the concepts and the ideologies behind feminism more, because to some extent we probably need to understand that more in order to be in a position to serve women well, to represent women well. I'm a father, I have two daughters, so I want them to grow up in a world where they are not judged just because of their gender, but because of their exceptionalism. The feminist movement is just gaining more ground, but it's always been important. I think it's always been a need for whatever the ideology or the illusion of men being in control to be shattered has always been necessary. I call it the illusion because I think men have this illusion that we can control men. I don't think it's true. That illusion doesn't last very long. In fact, if we're all honest with each other, you know that the woman always just allows you to feel that you're in control so that you can probably leave them alone. But it's never been that. So I think also it's a question of freedom also, freedom of people just being able to be who they are and be accepted for how they want to be. There's a lot of imbalance in what we expect of boys, or what we expect of men, and what we expect of women. And if the tables were reversed, I don't think we'll appreciate that very much. And that being said, I think for all of us as men as well, we often say the excuses, but I'm a good man, I'm a good. But I think psychologically, based on society, based on the environment we're growing with, we've internalized certain ways, certain behavior patterns that we don't even realize that are against the very idea of feminism. So I think we need to check ourselves as well, constantly, to be able, I can see it from my grandmother. My grandmother is the most intelligent human being I know. And she never succumbed to the wishes of my grandfather. She did what she wanted. My favorite color is green. 3 words of describing my favorite color. Earth, fruition and strength, I would say.